Welcome to Angular in 5 minutes. I'm Gabriel George.
I'm Thiago Passos.
And today we're going to talk about data in event binding. So, Thiago, what's data in event binding?
All right, so there are a few ways that we can bind both data and events from the component to the UI.
Right.
Okay, so the first one we're going to cover is the interpolation. Okay, so if we do an ng-new, you're going to have that example straight away, which is the title printed in the UI. Okay, so the interpolation is these double curly braces here.
And how do we use that?
Okay, so we just put a variable or a model inside the double curly braces, and that's all done. That's pretty much it.
So basically, when you say model, it can also be an object as well.
It can be an object, and you can also do some calculations here. So if you can do multiplications and concatenations and stuff like that, you can do it here.
Right.
Okay, so let's make a change to the title and see that reflecting in the browser. Okay, so we're gonna call that hello world instead, and we're gonna see that being updated in the UI. Okay, so that's how it works.
All right. So what about the data binding?
Okay, so the first one is going to be the one-way binding. So we're gonna bind the data coming from the component to a property of a tag in the HTML. Okay, so and to do that, I'm going to create an input here, replacing the Angular logo. It's going to be a text type, and I'm gonna bind to the value property of that tag. Okay, and I'm gonna bind the title.
So we're expecting the default value of the input will be the title, in this case, hello world.
That's it. So if I save that, I'm gonna see a input coming straight away.
That's cool.
Okay.
And what about the other one, the event binding?
Okay, so the event binding, we can bind to any event in the HTML, and it's gonna trigger something in the component.
Okay.
Okay, so to show you that, we're gonna create a button here, and I'm gonna call update title, and I'm gonna bind to the click event of this button, and I'm going to call an update method in the component.
All right, so that parenthesis is sort of a one-way binding that is used to trigger something from the HTML to the component.
To the component is the event binding.
All right, and we'll call the update method.
Yes, so if I go to the component now and I create an update method, that's what it's gonna call. And to be able to see that being triggered, I'm gonna change something. So I'm gonna change the title. So as soon as I click, it changed the title.
Right.
Okay, so I'm gonna call this title, and I'm going to update that to Angular in 5 minutes. All right.
All right, cool.
So if I save that, I should see a button coming in the browser, and if I click, I should see both the title and the input value change.
That's awesome. And what about two-way bindings?
Okay, so for the two-way bindings, we're going to use something that they call banana in a box. All right. So Angular has something inside the forms module that we need to bring to our application to use the ng model, which is going to do this two-way binding.
All right. Can you show us how to import the new module?
Yeah. So we're going to go to app module, and we're going to bring a new module here coming from forms. And we're going to add forms module, and all we need to do is add this forms module to the list of imports.
And that's it?
From here, that's pretty much it. And now we're going to change the HTML. Instead of using the value, we're going to use the ng model.
Right.
Okay. Before I make the change, I just want to show you that if I change anything in the input here, nothing is going to reflect in the title. And by change to ng model, that's going to be reflected straight away.
All right.
Okay, so let's change here now. We're going to do the banana in a box, and we're going to use ng model instead.
All right.
Okay, so let's save that.
And so the behavior that we're expecting, whatever we write in that text box, it's going to be reflected in the title as well.
That's pretty much it. Okay, so I'm going to change that in here, Angular in 5 minutes.
That's cool. So today we've covered interpolation, one-way bindings, which is including the data binding and event binding, and two-way binding, which is banana in the box. And stay tuned for our next episode of Angular in 5 minutes.
If you like this video, press the thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe.
Cheers.
Cheers.